Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Paul with PipelineMoney.com, and in this video, I want to share something with you that could be very, very profound. I want to talk about the greatest personal development lie ever told, along with the ABCs of change. And this came about through a conversation that I had with a friend of mine this week. He's an entrepreneur, has had a lot of success entrepreneurially, and is a good friend of mine. Had a lot of success, and then there came a point where had some things happen and experienced a lot of not success, and got to the point where this person was so depressed, so frustrated, so down and out, so down on himself that he was at the lowest of lows. And even in my conversation with this friend yesterday, he mentioned even suicidal. And this friend I had a conversation with about a year ago when he was at the lowest of lows, and we were able, through some conversation, to kind of help him shift things around a little bit to where he was able to pick himself up out of that pit and recreate success and happiness and prosperity. And many times as I've talked to this friend over the last, year or so, he's always mentioned, like, Paul, what you did for me, it saved me, it helped me, you were my savior, yada, yada, all these nice things about me. Which I'm thankful for. I'm thankful to have been able to be there for my friend when he needed me. But what I want to talk about in this video is what we did specifically and how what we did specifically helped me to realize that there could be this huge, massive lie in personal development that I've believed and that I've taught for over 10 years now. And it's a really, really big aha moment that I think is going to help a lot of people, myself included, now that I'm aware of this. So what did we do that helped my friend, pick himself up and move forward in life in a powerful way? What specifically did we do? Here's what we did. I helped him come up with an affirmation sheet that he could use to remind himself and speak power into himself, remind himself that he was an amazing person and that he was not whatever these negative thoughts were telling him that he was at the time. And that was one of the things we did. We created this affirmation sheet. And one interesting thing to note that I've been thinking about recently in alignment with affirmations is that if you think about it, a thought really is not that much different than a word. A word is a manifestation in reality of a thought. There's the thought in our mind, we open our mouths, the thought comes out. So this is why words programmed via affirmations back into our minds can really create a shift inside of us. It's because thoughts and words are so interconnected. So that's the first thing. But the second thing, this is the greatest personal development lie could be ever told. Let me ask you this. Have you ever heard this? Take 100% responsibility for yourself. Everything that happens in your life is your responsibility. You are responsible for every single thing that happens in your life. Have you ever heard that? I know I have. I've believed it. I've taught it. And that can be useful in certain areas, in certain modes of being, and I want to get into those distinctions here in just a bit. A variation of this teaching: never blame anyone or anything for anything. Never blame anyone or anything for anything. You may have heard that, right? So take full responsibility and never blame anyone for anything. Okay, so those two things, very common, very I agree with that. Take full responsibility, never blame anyone or anything, right? Like, for the most part, we've been doing personal development for a long time. We're like, yeah, that's basics, guys. That's basics, man. Yes, Paul, we're down with that. Well, back to my friend's story. So what had happened was he had taken some risks and made some big investments in a particular direction that he was going in business. And then some things happened that you could say were outside of his control. COVID hit. had a big old team that he was running that didn't produce what they were supposed to produce, and thereby ate up a lot of his working capital. And so my friend took all of those things, found himself in a situation that he was not super happy with, financially speaking, at the bottom of a pit financially, like the very bottom. You almost couldn't imagine someone being lower financially than where my friend was. And while he was in this pit, he was saying things like, this is all my fault. I did this. I did this to my family. I caused all of this failure and frustration and heartache. And that means I am a failure. I am a bad person. I messed up. And he was internalizing all this, taking 100% responsibility for it all. The effect it produced on him was almost suicidal because he was so down on himself, right? And so here's the ABCs of change. And then I want to offer some distinctions as to why these might be the two greatest personal development lies ever told. ABCs of change. I've been learning about change of self, change of others. How can I use my words to help myself and others change in the very best ways? And the ABCs of change, they're called ABCs because these are easy ways to remember them. A stands for am, I am. Beliefs and statements about your identity are the most far-reaching beliefs that we can have, and they're the most far-reaching statements we can make. The things we think that are true about us as individual entities, okay? So that's A. B is beliefs about any other thing in life, beliefs about people, beliefs about money, beliefs about whatever, your business, products, you fill in the blank, beliefs. So you've got am, beliefs. C is capabilities, the things you can do or the things you think you can't do. Like, what can you do? D are the things that you do, the actions that you take in life. And then E would be environment, the things surrounding us that does have an impact on how our lives and our businesses work out. So A, B, C, D, E. Now back to my friend. I could have said, and maybe I did say, in my friend's affirmation sheet, maybe it's not that you're a failure. Maybe it's not that you caused all of this failure, but maybe it's that something in the environment happened that really you had no control over. And then that ended up affecting your plan and your business. And then that brought you to this space. And see, when we say something like that, what we're doing is we are taking the failure and we're blaming it on the environment. But in some cases, isn't that true? Isn't it true that sometimes things happen in the environment that are outside of our control that have an effect on what happens to us? And when I was talking to my friend yesterday and we were kind of highlighting these things, he's like, yeah, that is true. That is what happened. And you know what that did for me? When I took the responsibility off of myself and the failure and the misery that I was experiencing from having an identity that was wrapped up in failure, and I blamed it on the environment, that allowed me to feel better about myself so that I could move forward in new and powerful ways. So this is an example of how maybe it's not always 100% our fault. Maybe it's not always that we 100% cause every single thing that that happens to us in life. And maybe it is that some of these other things have an impact, right? Go to level D, the things we do. Well, guess what? I do believe we're responsible for the things we do, but success in business requires other people doing things that are in alignment with us, right? And we can't really control what other people do. It's up to them. Now, we can have an impact on it, the way we show up, the way we communicate, the way we, the valuable things we bring. These all have an impact on whether or not other people will want to do things with us. But at the end of the day, it's up to them whether they do decide to work with us or not. So that's another example of how you can do everything you possibly can do, and still there are a couple things that are outside of your control that could contribute to why you are or are not seeing the success that you want to see in your life. And so to wrap this all up, here's the biggest takeaways I'm getting from this. It's that, do we want to take 100% responsibility for our actions, for our personal growth, for as much as we possibly can? Yes, that's a great thing to do. Great way to move forward in life in a powerful way. Do we want to take responsibility for everything that other people do, that the environment does? Is that all of our fault? No. So maybe it is that we want to take 100% responsibility for how we respond to what happens to us. But in some cases, it may be the truth that it's just something or someone else's fault. So maybe in some cases, taking the blame off of ourselves and putting it where it justly goes might be a good thing. Am I saying to blame? Well, I guess I am, but it depends on what you mean by blame, right? I think generally speaking, when we say never condemn, criticize, or blame, what we're really saying is blame. You don't want to have a bunch of negative energy tied up into, something or some person. You don't want to take too much of what you didn't do, but you should have done and put that on someone else, because that justly falls on our table, right? So it's kind of like having an accurate picture, an accurate view of what's happening from a personal level to a personal behavior, actions, environment, all these things that we as individuals, we are individuals, but we also operate within other individuals and systems, and there are these things around us that we have to work within. So again, take 100% responsibility for how we respond to what happens. Take 100% responsibility for what we do with our time during the day. We give it all we've got with whatever we've got. And then beyond that, allow space for being able to not allow every negative thing that happens to be wrapped up in our identity. Sometimes it's probably good to justly place that somewhere else, someone else's actions. Someone else did something that really wasn't my fault. So these are the two greatest personal development lies, 100% responsibility for everything that ever happens to you, and never blame. We hear that a lot. But again, blaming in the right way, which is not wrapping up a bunch of negative energy into it, and also not blaming for things that are on our plate that we should take responsibility for, but allowing space to recognize that the truth is we are working within systems, and sometimes other people do things that affect us, and allowing space for that. And being able to put that where it justly goes, that can really free up our souls and free up our identity so that we can move forward in the best possible way. So that's it. That's what I wanted to share. Thanks for watching this video today. I love you, believe in you, know you've got greatness within you. If you're just catching me for the first time and want more content like this, please visit pipelinemoney.com. That's my email list. I send out all my best stuff to my email subscribers. I love my email subscribers. And also, when you do subscribe to pipelinemoney.com by going to that website, putting your name and email in the boxes on the page, you'll also see a business model that I co-created with a friend of mine, and I'm co-creating with all of our affiliate partners. That is just amazing. We're doing a lot of good in the world. We're increasing awareness. We're helping people grow. We're helping to feed starving kids. We're teaching people online marketing, residual income, just a whole big pot of goodness. So if you want to check that out, you can check that out as well. So that's it. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Am I off my rocker? Comment, yes, Paul, you're off your rocker. Am I saying some things that are ringing true? Comment below, yes, Paul, you're saying some things that are ringing true. Let me know if you liked anything I shared today. Let me know if you disagreed with anything I shared with today. Let me know if you have anything to teach me. I love learning from everybody. So yeah, comment below, and subscribe to my YouTube channel also if you are not subscribed yet. pipelinemoney.com/YouTube. All right, take care, guys. Bye for now.